What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today I kind of want to talk a little bit about faith and God and kind of my point of view on things, and in no way, shape, or form am I trying to pressure anybody or convince you otherwise. I kind of just want to give you my perspective about a couple of things. But I also want to start off by letting you guys know that I'm very, very respectful towards whatever you choose to believe. I think that when you try to pressure your beliefs onto people, it's not right. You know, if people want to find faith, it has to come from within and it has to be their choice. Like, for example, my son is 7 years old. I bring him to church every Sunday, but the day that he comes to me and says that he doesn't want to go, I will not make him do that anymore, because I think that if you're going to be involved in church and you're going to come to Jesus, that really has to be your own choice. I think that anytime you try to pressure somebody into that, it's not going to come from their heart and they're not going to be sincere and genuine about it. Same goes with going to church, you guys. If you're not going because you want to be there, you might as well just not even go. So me coming to God has kind of like come in and out of my life, you know. I've gone through phases where I was really religious, phases where I wasn't at all, and then times when I was like, I believed in God and then I was still making a lot of really bad choices. And right now I feel like I have a very balanced, relationship with God and my social life. But one thing I will tell you is the more that your faith increases, the more that you don't want to engage in things that could be, categorized as a sin. You know, like the more that I go to church and the more that I talk to God and my relationship gets better with God, the easier it is for me to resist those things and be like, that's not really, what I want to do. And I think that too, a good positive thing that comes from coming closer to God is that, you don't want to do things anymore that could, hurt your physical body or, just engaging in things. Now, that's not to say I don't still have a drink once in a while. I do. But like I said, it's really balanced right now. And the chances of me getting drunk are very, very slim. I maybe, have a drink a couple of times a year, and I get intoxicated, like I said, maybe like twice a year. So I feel like I'm in a really good place in life. Now, something that somebody said to me the other day was, well, how do you feel about weed? How is it that somebody could smoke weed every day and like be religious in a sense? And I'm like, well, hold on there. And it just made me think about how many people might actually have that perspective, almost as if it's like, well, you're not worthy of being religious, or people might make a mockery out of your faith because you still go out and drink, or because, you smoke weed or this or that. I think that what it all comes down to is really your faith in God and Jesus, and, being a good person. And that's not to say that you're going to go to heaven just because you're a good person. And also, everyone thinks that they're a good person, you guys. Every single person thinks that they're a good person or a good friend, or that their point of view is, the right one, because that's the only perspective that you have, if that makes sense. So I think that what really makes you worthy of God's love is really having that true faith within, trusting Him, and being a good person, doing good things without people looking or noticing, and not talking about it. It's like people that do nice things and then they blast it all over Facebook or whatever. I think that that's kind of wrong in a way, in my personal opinion. Kind of like if you're going to donate to the Salvation Army and then you write it off on your taxes. I'm not saying that's bad. That's just one little example. That's like, if you're going to donate, you might as well do it just to do it. You know what I mean? Same goes with, if you're going to go give to somebody, do it from within, and then, it doesn't need to be something that you go and you tell everyone about. Something that really bothers me is I have someone in my life that anytime they do the littlest thing, they have to let everybody know, and they also put it on blast. Like, they broadcast it for everybody. And it's like, come on, if you're just doing it for that attention or just to get acknowledged, you're not really giving for the right reasons. Kind of same saying as if, if you only do something nice for somebody so you can get something back, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Giving is giving, you guys. Do it for the right reason and never expect anything in return. For example, if you loan someone some money, be prepared mentally that you may never get paid back. You know what I mean? Just always have that in the back of your mind. And also, balance goes along with giving too. Don't ever put yourself in a bad position to help somebody else out. I'm a true believer in, you have to take care of yourself. Now, that means that when you have a little bit of extra money, you have the means or the energy or whatever, then yeah, go ahead and give to somebody or do something nice to somebody. And it doesn't always have to be a lot of money or a lot, people think of it like, if you go to church and you're not giving 10 or 20%, it's not even worth it. That's not true. You could still go to church and give $1 or $2. I mean, giving is giving. And in the eyes of God, any little deed, small or big, is worthy in his opinion. Jesus doesn't say you have to put your life on hold to serve others. He's just saying, love your brother, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So something that really was cool that I heard the other day was a guy had spoken to a lot of people who were atheist, and he gave them a National Geographic book. And he had the people look through the book, and there's pictures, and, obviously it's a book, so there's, a narrative of writing and whatever. And he asked the people, do you think that an explosion could happen and this book would be created? And the people said, well, no, that's really silly. And he said, you're right. It took somebody to take the pictures, and then it took another person to write and tell the story of each and every page. And then it took somebody to put the whole book together. You know what I mean? With the numbers and the pages and the words to make sentences and make sense. So much effort went into a book. Now, how could you think that your existence was just made out of an explosion? Every single person's DNA is different. Every single person is different. Our skin color, our eye color, our hair, our DNA. Every single person is completely different. Your voice, your height. There's so many varieties of humans. I think it's just so silly to just believe that an explosion happened and life was created. Now, one of the biggest giveaways for me that God is real is our thought process and our emotions. Now, I don't care if you're the smartest person in the entire world. Like scientists always try to put a definition on everything. Well, you have chemicals in your brain that release this emotion and this and that. Well, I don't believe that, because how do you explain love? How do you explain sadness? How do you explain compassion? Or feelings of being lovesick, when you're heartbroken? You cannot put a definition on emotions. I don't care if you study your whole life. You could never figure out emotions and where those thoughts and emotions come from. So for me, that's kind of the biggest giveaway. And also, if you guys just really take the time to look around you and look at the sky and the water and the trees and the plants and animals, and look how different everything is. If you just look at a flower for a moment and you really examine it, there's just no way that everything on this planet came from nothing, you guys. And part of the reason why I think that Christians, try to push the belief of Jesus onto others is because it's such a wonderful, amazing feeling. Once you come to God, you have a sense of like, I am worthy. He created me. God created me in the palm of his hands, and then you have a sense of worth and meaning. Whereas if you think, well, it was just a big boom and the world was created and all these humans are on here, then you start to lose sight of your individuality and how important and special you are. What if I told you that the trees knew who you were? The water knew your name. The skies welcomed you during the day. You would have a sense of purpose. And that is part of the reason why you come to Jesus and you come to God. That sense of purpose just overflows your heart and your meaning and your life. And something else that I found personally is the more that I find God, the more that I find myself. The more I want to live a good life. The more I want to share my love and my happiness with others. And something for empowerment is the more that you love yourself, the more you love other people. Like I've always stood by, I know that I'm a queen. I value myself, I value my time and my energy, but that goes hand in hand with how I treat other people. I value you, I value your time, your opinion, your existence. So I think that that's a saying that, with maturity comes that, that sense of security with who you are. And then, at a young age, it's so sad because the bullying and the negativity is so emphasized these days. I mean, people make a mockery out of people who love Jesus. Oh, you're a Jesus freak, or you're a Jesus lover, or, oh, you're a nerd because you're intelligent. I mean, it's so sad that we make a mockery out of being smart, out of being a Christian and being good with the Lord. I mean, that's really, really sad. But what you find is the older that you get, the more you don't want to deal with the drama, the negativity, the more that you look upon bullying as being mean and sad. Whereas when you're in middle school or when you're young, it's almost like that kind of stuff is funny. Me and my girlfriend, when we were younger, we did some kind of like mean things. Now, we weren't bullies, but we did do things where we pulled pranks on people and stuff. And, I now look back on that stuff and I'm like, man, that wasn't funny. You come to a point in your life where you're like, that's not funny. That wasn't nice. And as you get older, you learn to really choose your battles wisely and be more effective and efficient with your time and your energy, And the last thing I'm going to say before I close with you guys is when you come to God, nothing bad could come from it. It's almost like reading the Bible, and people, find excuses to not read the Bible. Well, it wasn't written by God or this or that. But what do you have to lose? Why is it so bad to read the Bible or to believe in God? What do you have to lose? And for me, I'm so secure with my relationship with God that I'll talk about it to anybody. That doesn't mean I'm not going to pressure it, but I let it be very well known to people around me that I love God and that, I am a Christian. Now, I don't like organized religion, and I don't like labeling myself as, anything specific, but I have accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. So in a sense, I am a Christian. I don't play by the rules all the time. I've said once again that there is no perfect, box or definition of what a perfect Christian looks like. Every single person on this planet is a sinner. We are all sinners. Nobody can live a perfect, sinless life. And that being said, the more that you come to God too, the more that you should love everyone around you. Something that blows my mind is people that go to church all the time, but they're the most judgmental people. How are you really a Christian and a believer of God and Jesus, and you are mean to other people or judgmental, or you think that these people aren't worthy or this or that, or that they don't love God because they're a drug user? I think that that's so sad, and that's something that I'm trying to push you guys. Just because you sin or you do this or that, it's not too late to turn to God. It doesn't mean that God doesn't love you or that you're not worthy. If you think that you're not worthy of God's love because you're a sinner, that is not true. You are forgiven for your past, present, and future sins. So, thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed my content, and I hope I shed a little bit of light on some avenues that you can take with God. And remember, there's no perfect path to turn to Jesus. There's no perfect path. And it's never too late, even if it's the last second of your life and you finally accept God into your life. It's never too late, and He will welcome you no matter what. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on this video and to my channel. And yeah, hope you have a good day.